Our next selection tool, we are going to learn how to use the quick selection tool. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and hit File, Open, and we're going to open up the image that was in Google Classroom called Lego People 2. Mine's on my desktop, so I've just hit open and popped it open like this. Okay, we are going to pull down the tab with Move Tool and let go. You can make it smaller or bigger by hitting Control minus or Control plus. I'm going to hit Control minus, make it a tad smaller. Next, we will open up a new document. We're going to make one that's the same size we did in the last tutorial by going to File, New, and we will make an 8-inch by 8-inch document. It may already say that from the last tutorial, 180 pixels per inch. Hit Create. That will open a document in the same tab. You need to grab that Move tool and pull those tabs into individual workspaces in your desktop. From here, I'm going to focus on some of the Lego people in this photo. And for this one, we're going to use a little bit more of a Move tool we're going to use the Quick Selection tool. So this is different than the object selection. The object selection may work, but I need you to learn how to use the quick selection tool because with some images, the selections are not going to be as easy as with the last image. Going to the quick selection tool, there's a couple of things you need to understand. Number one, there is a circle. When you use the bracket keys next to the P key, the right bracket is going to make the circle bigger and the left bracket is going to make it smaller. You have to adjust the size as to what you're doing. Again, bracket keys next to the P key on the keyboard. At the top, you also need to understand that there is a plus and there is a minus. Depending on what you have here, you'll have a plus if you're on the plus or you'll have a minus if you're on the minus. The plus will select pixels, as you can see. The minus will unselect pixels if you mess up or you have something selected that you don't want. Let's go ahead and start. I will start with Guitar Granny over here. It is very smart to zoom in the best that you can and to adjust the size of the circle depending on what you're selecting. Her legs, this is a good size. I have the plus in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and just push down with my mouse. Just click. You don't really drag. It could drag outside. Stay within the boundaries of Guitar Grandma. Now, here in between her legs, we have some pixels that we need to unselect because that is not part of her. That's just air there. So we need to use the minus and go in and unselect those pixels. We are going for practice here. I'm going to go back to the plus now and make the circle a little bigger. Her head's big and round, so that was only one click. And now we're going to move over to her guitar. For her guitar, I'm going to obviously need to make the circle much smaller. I'm going to click and click and click and click here. Now, if I mess up, oops, I can go back to the minus and I can undo that. Guitar Granny is selected. Now we need to move Guitar Granny over to our white document. So I'm going to try to move some things around. I'm going to grab my Move tool here, grab her and pull her over. Ta-da! She's in there. Okay, next, when we go back to the picture, Granny is selected, but we need to unselect her by following either Control D to deselect. For the last step, I want you to also select one more person, okay? One more person in here and pull them over. Again, we're going to use that quick selection tool and make sure you have a plus in the center and click and click and click. Sometimes I like to just select everything. If this gets in the way, you can move that out of the way. And then I go back in with my minus and kind of unselect some of those pixels. This is a selection tool. It will take time for you to learn how to use it. It may be very frustrating in the beginning, but you will get better at it the more you do it. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the move tool. I'm gonna pull over artist daddy and baby, and there we go. This will suffice for what we need. If you want to pull in more people, you may, but 2 is what I'm looking for. You can change the sizes of them if you want to change the size. When you're done, you're going to save it as the proper type of file. Again, the best way to save is to go to File, Save as a Copy. Save as a copy on your desktop so you know where it is. And this one we're going to title your last name and then just maybe put Lego 2 so it deciphers from the other one. Hit save and then you'll get a pop-up JPEG option. Just hit OK. And that is it. You will upload it to Google Classroom.